tell what you were thinking, babe. Your thoughts are only getting louder. While you are up in space, I sit here by myself. Are you gonna spill the truth or waste your life away? Sitting on your fingertips so I know what you'll say. Baby, don't bother, you know it hurts anyway. Don't bother, as long as you don't say that it's over now, that it's over. We used to talk about getting older. We said we hold on, but now it's over. It can't be over, over. I don't know what you did, but it's alright with me. It doesn't matter any longer. I will forgive your flaws if you're forgiving mine. Are you gonna spill the truth or waste your life away? Sitting on your fingertips so I know what you'll say. Baby, don't bother, you know it hurts anyway. Don't bother, as long as you don't say that it's over now, that it's over. We used to talk about getting older. We said we hold on, but now it's over. It can't be over, over. Spill it out, don't you spare any details of how you feel about us. Spill it out, don't you spare any details. Oh baby, as long as you don't say that it's over now, that it's over. We used to talk about getting older. We said we hold on, but now it's over. It can't be over, over.
Here's some life advice. Stay committed to your decisions, but stay flexible in your approach. Apply that to your yoga today. Apply that to your yoga. You are committed to your decision to be here. Good on you. It's a 1 hour long practice. Stay as long as you can. Be committed. Be committed to your practice and stay flexible in your approach. Stay flexible in that, oh, maybe I'll do that pose at 10%. Maybe I'll do that pose a little differently. Maybe I'll modify it for my body. That's the most important thing. Bottom of the screen says, do what's right for your body, not mine, not Piper's, not anybody else doing yoga around you. If you're having people in your house do yoga with you, that would be wonderful. But do what is right for your yoga. You've got to, for your yoga, do what is right for your body. You've got to do what's right for your body. Everybody's got a different body. Everybody's got different aches and pains. Everybody's got different conditions that brought them to where they are today. Honor your body and don't hurt it. We've got like 60 poses today. So try them maybe at 5%. Just don't give up, don't quit. The practice will be over before you know it. You're gonna choose what's right for you, make it work, and have some fun. Every day our practices are different. Join us and learn something new. All right, so a word to think about. It's the word fresh. Here you go, fresh. Fresh is the word to think about. Fresh, everybody likes fresh, right? You like fresh fruit, you like fresh air, you like a fresh start. So let this yoga today be a fresh start. Let it renew your soul. Let it feel good in your body. Grab your props, your yoga blocks, a little bender ball or a slow-mo ball that's not fully inflated. You want to create an unstable surface. That's the purpose for it. Grab some hand weights. If you don't have them, grab a couple of water bottles. Let's come on up to a standing position. All right, so once you're standing, like I said, we got like 60 poses to do today. Let's get through them. Let's have some fun. All right, so take your ball. Place it up between your thighs. Take that confident stance. So you're squeezing the ball good and tight. Legs are strong. Most of us have strong muscles in our legs. All right, so hold on tight. Your feet are about hip-width distance apart here. Take your stance of confidence. Hands on your hips, elbows back, shoulders down. Big breath in through your nose and a big sighing breath out through your mouth. Wiggle your toes and then start to come up onto the balls of your feet. So be larger than life. Strike that pose of confidence. You could have a chair nearby and hold on to it. You could be seated in your chair. And if you're seated in your chair, you're still working the feet here. So just breathe. Feel good about today. Feel good about this fresh beginning. Shoulders back and down. Breathe in through your nose and sigh it out through your mouth. Let it all go. All right, so you're warming up your calves, warming up your Achilles tendon, warming up your feet. Maybe come on up higher onto the balls of your feet and hold it here. If you don't have a ball, that's totally fine. The ball helps you feel more stable in this position. Plus, you're really activating your legs by giving it a good tight squeeze. Maybe you stay up on the balls of your feet. Maybe you come a little higher, keeping the heels behind the foot. Hold it here and then come on down to your heel. Lift your toes and give them a wiggle. Take your arms, release them from your hips and send them up to the sky. Take a big good morning stretch. Just reach. Be thankful for what you got. Interlace your fingers, the palms to the sky, a gentle palm tree pose, lateral flexion of your spine. So no need to hurry. You take it at your pace. Breathe, put a bend in the elbows if that feels better. So what we're going for here is just that sideways movement of the spine and the sensations there. Maybe the palm tree arms don't feel good. Maybe let one arm come down your leg and then switch and stretch the other way. You're going for that feeling of the stretch in your side body. Whatever works well for you is the answer. Breathe. Come back up to the midline of your body. Take your hands, place them behind your low back. Squeeze your elbows toward the back of the room. Push your belly forward. Look up to where the ceiling and the wall meet, or look directly overhead. Little bit of a back bend. You're stabilizing your back here. Drive your elbows closer to your spine. Breathe in, exhale it out and hinge forward. As you hinge forward, let a little bend in your knees. Feel good. And let your arms hang toward the earth. Shake your neck as you look back toward your knees or up toward your belly button. So the crown of your head is toward the earth. Breathe in. Breathe out. Really full exhales. Let your belly button come back to your spine. Inhale, rise on up, slowly stacking your vertebra one at a time, coming back up to a standing position. Tee out your arms and do some arm circles. Draw arm circles to the back of the room. And don't forget your knees. Bend your knees when the hands come down. Straighten them when the arms go up. Breathe. Nice big arm circles, or maybe not so big. Maybe today you're just drawing little arm circles. Maybe today you just got a little bounce in your knees. It's okay. It's doing something. It's doing your yoga your way, and that's okay. Arm circles in the opposite direction. Breathe into the nose. Out through the mouth. Refreshing breath. Let's finish. Come on up to standing. Let your arms hang heavy down by your sides. Big coat swing. Twist. Controlled twist here. Arms are heavy and loose. Let them touch your hip and your backside as you twist and turn from one side to the other. Squeeze that ball. Hold it. You're nice and stable. Down below, and you're taking that twist in the upper body. Controlled twist. Breathe. Ooh, let that feel good. I could do that for several minutes. What about you? Maybe you do. Maybe you do choose to do that. Totally fine. I'm going to come back to the midline of my body now. Take a I Dream a Genie stance with the hands to opposite elbow creases. Take a big breath in and hinge forward here. Hinge forward here, look back to your knees, look back to your belly button, let the arms hang, put a little bend in your knees. If you don't have the ball between your legs, that's totally fine. Just, have your feet hip width distance apart. That's 2 fist widths. And then start to sway one elbow toward one side, then the other elbow toward the other side. This is your ragdoll pose, great for decompressing the low back. Move here, however feels good, in your low back and in those glutes. Just breathe and just do what feels good. Focus today on what you can do. Don't focus on what you can't. Come on now. Focus on what you can do, and you're doing great. Let's come back to the midline of the body. Just hang out here for a second. Take a deep breath in. And just release, let it all go. Now release your hands down to the mat. Take the ball from between your thighs, bring it to the top of your mat, bend your knees and come on down to your mat. Strike a child's pose. Knees together, big toes touch, hips back to your heels. Take a block, or maybe a shorter block, whatever you feel like today. Place it under your forehead and arms down by your sides, palms face up. Now you don't have to use a block. The block is just here to bring the ground up to you if that feels better. I don't know what feels better for you. Your body is unique. You take care of it and you listen to it. Take a deep breath in and a big sighing breath out. As you breathe out, think of your tailbone going more back to your heels. I'm going to take a wide-legged child's pose. That's a variation of this child's pose. To do that, you'd spread your knees wide, big toes touch, hips go back to your heels, arms reach long to the top of the mat. Maybe you got that ball at the top of the mat and you place your hands on it. Maybe your head comes down to a block, or you say, I don't want to use the block, I'm going to bring it down to the mat. It's up to you. I'm going to roll this ball a little bit into the ground and just kind of enjoy a little more of a side stretch here. Into the nose and out through the mouth. When you're ready, close your lips and breathe in and out of your nose only if you can. Not everybody can. Not everybody wants to. But if you can, and if you want to, that's the most efficient way to breathe. So lips closed, in and out of the nose is the breath. And then let's finish. Stretch, reach, push that ball a little farther. Send your hips on back. If you don't have the ball, press hard into your hands, thinking of sending your hips even further back as your spine lengthens here. Breathe in. Breathe out. Come back to your child's pose anytime you want. So much going on here. Stretching the quads, the knees, the ankles, the spine, the shoulders. It's a great pose. Use it when you need to. All right, I'm going to come into a neutral tabletop position. In a neutral tabletop position, knees are under the hips, wrists are under the shoulders. Press hard into the earth, even with the tops of your feet. So your back feels nice and strong and stable like a tabletop. Hold it here. Now let's take our hands and flip our hands so our fingers are pointing back towards our knees. Oh my goodness. All right, this is a nice stretch in the forearms. Wiggle your hips from side to side. Bring your hips back towards your bottom to feel what you feel in the forearms. Nice stretch here. Maybe you take it farther. Maybe you rise on up and come onto the fingers, or maybe not. You move so this forearm stretch feels good for you. And I guarantee everybody's stretch is going to look different. All right, let's come out of it. If you're ready, take your hands back to a natural position, wiggle your fingers, get those little tingly feelings out of your forearms, and let's take a child's pose with our blocks. No, not a child's pose, let's take a toes pose. Bring your blocks to your mat. Tuck your toes under as you stand on your knees. Sink your hips back to your heels. Use the blocks to just kind of give you some stability. Again, think of the blocks as bringing the ground up to you. No blocks? That's okay. You can use your hands in a moment. Shoulders are back and down. Press into your feet. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. This is an intense pose. If it is all painful, come out of it. Just come out and hinge forward a little bit. Take your toes pose to 2% if that's what feels right for you today. Stretch out the fascia in the feet. Let's take it to an ankle pose. The counter pose of this is placing the tops of your feet on your mat and coming back to sit on your heels. Using your blocks, push into them and let your knees come up. You are balancing on the tops of your feet now. Let's go back and forth a few times. Think of finding mobility and flexibility in the feet, in your foundation. Breathe, focus. Just focus on what you're feeling. Does it feel great? Do you feel stronger in your foundation? And if you don't have the blocks, use your hands on the ground. You can close your eyes, and that'll challenge your balance a little bit more. Maybe try that. Or maybe try bringing your hands to prayer center and rocking back and forth between your ankle pose and your toes pose. Breathe. All right, let's finish up here. Let's come back to a neutral tabletop. In your neutral tabletop, lift your feet up and squeeze and wiggle your toes and your ankles. You gotta move your feet. You gotta move on your mat so you can move off of your mat, right? Tap the tops of your feet out on the mat. Boy, isn't that a true statement? You've got to move your body, and you're doing it on your mat 60 different ways today, so you can move your body off of your mat. That's really what counts. From a neutral tabletop, cat-cow, chin to your chest, tailbone under, arch your back up good and high to the sky. Don't forget, press the tops of your feet into your mat to keep your core strong. Inhale, cow pose, crown of the head and tailbone lift. Do it again, cat, cow. You're curving your spine in the shape of a letter C. Bring your belly button towards your spine as you tuck that tailbone under even more. Cat, cow, a couple more times. Breathe. It's important to marry your breath to the pose to feel the fullest extent of this. Exhale, cat. Inhale, cow. Finish up in your cat-cow, or keep at it if that's what you like. I'm going to do cat, pulling its tail. Extend the right leg long. Press the ball of the foot into the mat. Feel that goodness in the foundation of your foot again. Lift that right leg up. Keep both hips equidistant to your mat. Bend the knee and kick yourself in the bottom. Reach your left arm around. Capture your foot if you want to. Take this in layers. Press your foundational limbs into the mat. Kick into your left hand. Look to the left side of your mat. Look to the left side of your room. Look over your left shoulder. Inhale, lengthen in the spine. Exhale, deepen your twist. Finish. Knee comes down, hand comes down. We got another side to do. Press the ball of the left foot into the mat with that extended left leg. Push. Feel strong here. Lift the leg up. Dial the left hip down so your hips are the same distance to the mat. Kick yourself in the bottom a little bit. Move that knee because knees are important and they need love too. Take your right hand, reach around, capture your left foot. Kick into your hand, open up through your right collarbone and take the twist to the right side as well. Breathe in, and as you exhale, you can twist. Breathe. All right, let's finish up. Bring the foot down, bring the knee down, tuck the chin to the chest, cat pose. Inhale, cow pose. Now let's do our bird dog pose. All right, so bird dog, this can be a challenge using the ball. You decide if you want to use the ball or not. I'm going to place the ball under my right knee. Draw the right toes toward the right shin, left leg lifts and extends long. Draw the toes toward the shin as the heel drives to the back of the room. Ooh, that surface is not real stable. That's where the challenge to the core comes in. Reach your right arm long, stretch it, reach it. Find length here in your spine. Tuck your elbow to your knee under the navel and reach again. Tuck it and reach. I'm going to go for 3 today. There you go. Stretch, reach, stay strong, finish. Hand comes down, knee comes down. Switch the ball to the other side. Ball under the left knee, left toes tuck under. Press into your hands, lift your right leg up, extend it long. Draw the right toes toward the shin, leg is long and strong. Push into your mat, reach through your arms. hold it right here, or tuck, elbow to knee, once, twice, not at all, you decide. I'm gonna go for 3 and finish. Hand comes down, knee comes down, remove the ball, place it behind your right knee. We're gonna go right into our fire hydrant pose. Start to lift the right leg to the side of the room. Breathe. Try to keep both hips dialed down. It helps to draw the toes toward the shin to hold on to that ball. If you don't have a ball, that's okay. You can do it without the ball. I'm gonna lift the leg up and lift it higher and pulse it up. Pulse, pulse, pulse. Ankle a little higher than the knee. Pulse it up. Bring the right knee to hover next to the left. Donkey kick. Send your right leg back. Knee to about hip height. Check out your hips again, making sure your hips are equidistant to the mat. Start to kick your heel towards your bottom. All right, so we strengthened our foundation really well with that toes pose and that confidence pose coming up onto our toes. Then we moved into strengthening the legs. You know, we push the ball of the foot into the ground. Now we're strengthening those glutes. Little kicks of your donkey kick to your bottom. Hug it in good and tight, and then start to pulse the foot up, up, up to the sky in this little variation of your donkey kick. The other day we did it standing on a chair, like a bar practice. This is a pose borrowed from bar. But you would be standing in a bar practice, holding your hands onto the bar, hinging forward and doing these same positions, these same motions. All right, let's finish. Hover the right knee next to the left. Plant the right knee down, and let's take it to your other leg. All right, bring the ball behind the left knee. Neutral tabletop. Lift the leg to the side of the room like a dog on a fire hydrant. Lift and lower. Big dogs, little dogs, just get a little bit of lift going. Breathe. And when you're ready, lift the leg good and high. Ankle a little higher than the knee. Pulse it up, up, up to the sky. Breathe, breathe, breathe. You got it. You're staying strong. Working on that ball and socket in those hips. Let the knee come and hover next to the right knee. Let the leg go back so the knee is at hip height. Start to kick, pulse the foot, the heel in towards your bottom. Check out your left hip. Make sure your hips are equidistant to your mat. Press into your hands. Breathe. In through the nose. Out through the nose. Maybe every once in a while you need to sigh it out. Let it go. Hug and squeeze the heel close to your bottom. Pulse the entire foot up to the sky. Pulse it up. Pulse it up. Breathe. After this, I'll just tell you where we're going. We're going into a nice, deep, wide-legged child's pose. It'll feel so good on those glutes. Pulse it up. Pulse it up. Breathe. That wide-legged child's pose is going to feel really good, and it's going to prepare us to do our plank pose. All right. Oh, my goodness. The good, the bad, the ugly, right? Hug the left knee next to the right. Hover it, hover it, hover it. Plant both legs down. Remove the ball. Send your knees wide. Hips back to your heels. Enjoy the getting there. This feels really good. Reach your arms long to the top of the mat. Sink your chest down, down, down toward the earth. Big breath in. Big breath out. Feels really great, doesn't it? All right, let's come on up and let's do a plank. All right, we set a 1 minute timer just about every time. I'm gonna get some water. Just about every time we practice, we set a 1 minute timer. That's there for you to measure. If you wanna measure how your practice is coming along, totally up to you. Do measure or not, it's up to you. All right, let's go. So, I'm going to use the ball for the plank. Lots of ways you can do plank. If you're new to planking, lie down on your back, send your arms up to the ceiling, and imagine you're in a plank. Imagine that ceiling is your mat and you're pushing into it. You could take a knee plank. Send your knees back from a neutral tabletop, hinge your arms forward, and send more weight into your arms and hold it here. It is not easy by any stretch. All right, maybe you come down to your forearms, hands pressed into your mat, elbows under your shoulders, and you stay on your knees and hold it here. Maybe you tuck your toes toward your shins and pop on up, for a dolphin plank. It's all good. I'm gonna take a high plank and I'm gonna kick it up a notch. Here's what you can do with the ball if you want to do this. You could put your ball between your thighs in any one of these variations to feel more stable. Especially if you're in a high plank, that ball between the thighs is going to make you feel more stable. I'm going to take the ball and really challenge my balance and feel unstable by placing the ball underneath the tops of my feet. All right, when you're ready, let's go into the variation of plank that you wish to take. Dwayne, please set a timer and let's go for 1 minute. All right, the timer's on the screen, but I'll give you little time hacks too. If you're in a high plank, your shoulders are over your wrists. Your legs are long, should be about hip width distance apart. But if you're on this ball, that's not the case. You're just holding on here, embracing those little micro movements in the legs. Woo! That make you stay stable. Hug your belly button towards your spine. We're over 20 seconds in here. And breathe. Lengthen through your spine and hold tight. If it's too much on your wrists, you could fold your mat in half under the hands and have extra padding there. You could ball your hands into fists if you like. That's a good variation. We got 15 seconds here. Hold on. Hold on. Push the earth away or the ceiling. Stay strong for 10, 9, 8. You got it. 5, 2, and 1 more second, and you are done. Come on down and breathe. Maybe now is a good time to get some water. Okay, we did that. Different variation of plank. Kick it up a notch. Any variation is good, from lying on your back to balancing your feet on the ball. Or maybe you did plank jacks. I know Liz, you like those. Hi Stan, hi Betty, hi Liz. Hi Diane, Marietta, Tina, Kelly, Rena, Tim, Anita. I gotta stop talking. All right, let's go. We're gonna take a block, place it under our feet and the ball at our back. Bring the soles of your feet to touch up on that block. So your pinky edge side of your foot is resting there. Lean back onto the ball. Hands to prayer center. Little teeny lifts here. Rock back and forth. And don't let momentum pull you up. Really think about being in control and holding on. Hands are at prayer center. You can have your little mantra saying, I am strong, I am capable, I am able. I'm gonna move my block up a little bit, that feels better. Knees open wide, arms reach now between the legs, reaching toward the front of the room. Like when we do that seated forward fold and we reach parallel arms toward our toes. Do the same thing here, reach, reach, reach. Take your hands, surround your right knee and reach, reach, reach. You got it, you got it. Breathe. Hands back to the center and reach. Hands to the left, surrounding the left knee and reach. Maybe place your hands at your temples and reach through the chest here. Breathe, breathe, breathe. It's a challenge, isn't it? All right, maybe lift the feet off the block, tuck your elbows to your knees. Let the feet touch down to the block and elbows to knees. A few times, once, twice, I don't know, however many. I think I've done about 5. Let's finish here. Come on up to seated and take that seated forward fold. Legs long, arms reach high. Extend the arms forward, reach for your toes. Inhale, lengthen as your chest goes forward. Exhale, tuck your chin towards your chest and look down to your knees. Big breath in, and big breath out. Loosen up through the low back, lengthen through your spine. Come on up to seated. Grab the ball. If you want, we're gonna do Pilates hundreds. You can place the ball down at your feet and elevate your feet. No ball at all, totally fine. Bring your feet down to the ground. I'm gonna take the ball and squeeze it between my ankles. Sitting up nice and straight, I'm gonna hold my hands in prayer, tell myself my mantra, I am strong. Come on back, all the way down, roll it on down, nice and slowly with control. Once you're down, arms down by your sides. Palms face down, shoulders away from the ears. Pilates 100s, take it in layers. Maybe today you lift your arms and pat the ground. Maybe today you add in the shoulders and keep patting toward the ground. Maybe today you lift your legs and you give that ball a squeeze. Breathe. All right, take whichever layer is right for you. Breathe. You don't have to pat the ground 100 times. I'm not going to count. I know some of you do, and that's fine. You decide how you want to do it. I'm going to lift my legs a little higher, keeping my tailbone plugged in, lift my shoulders a little higher, and reach my fingers toward the bottom of the mat. Breathe in your variation of your Pilates 100s. Tight core, nice and strong. You can do it. Yes, you can. Breathe. You got it. Whew. All right. Are you ready to finish? Maybe. I'm going to lift my legs a little higher. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Slowly lower the legs down, 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 and down to the earth. Take a rest here. Maybe take a stick pose. Arms reach high overhead, toes point to the bottom of the room. Breathe, stretch it out like a big number one. You are. All right, bicycle pose. You can take this any way you like. For your bicycle pose, just move the ball aside. Soles of the feet on your mat. Knees bent, arms down by your sides. You can stay right here. You can take your hands, bend your elbows. Elbows open wide, fingers at your temples. Exhale, lift on up, and then bring opposite elbow toward opposite knee. Maybe you keep the shoulders down and lift the legs up. Knee over hip. Drive through the heels as if you're riding a recumbent bike. Maybe you put it all together, elbow to knee, elbow to opposite knee, and stretch. Or scissor kick, legs nice and straight. You decide how you want it to be. Finish up. Send your legs long. Take that stick pose again. Breathe. All right, let's come on up. Come on up to seated. Use your hands if you want, or don't use your hands. You decide. Come on up, find your two blocks. There's a quote from Einstein that I liked about bicycle. Life is like riding a bicycle. You've heard that before. To keep your balance, you just gotta keep moving, right? Isn't that the truth? You gotta keep moving. Don't become sedentary, not good. All right, standing on your knees, right foot forward, knee over ankle, blocks by your side. Left leg shoots long and straight. Put a towel under your knee if that feels better. There's a way to do everything. Top of your foot is on your mat. You wanna feel a nice stretch in your left hip flexor. You wanna know what it feels like? That left foot that's on the top of the mat, bend it toward your shin, and you'll feel a difference here in the hip flexor. Just go back and forth a couple of times, and you feel greater lengthening when the top of the foot is on the mat. Hands can stay on the blocks, shoulders can come up higher if you want, hands to prayer center, or arms go up and you take a baby back bend. Hands back to your blocks, start to surf. Straighten the right leg and rebend it. Straighten the leg and bend it. You can walk back with your blocks for stability. You can walk your bottom all the way back, or your bottom all the way back to your heel. Using the blocks or no blocks, your hands are good too. It's all good, or no hands at all. Striving to keep your core good and tight and move through this pose here. All right, come on back up to standing on the knee. Switch them out. Right knee down, left foot forward, left knee over left ankle. Press into your blocks, send your right leg straight and long. Press on into those blocks, maybe straighten up a little bit. Straighten up a little bit. Have your shoulders over your hips. Maybe hands to prayer center. Maybe. All up to you. Arms lift. You look up. Take a baby back bend. Hands back to prayer center, mantra. Hands back to the blocks. Bend and flex through that left leg. And the right leg too. Bring it on back as far as you like. There's no right or wrong answer. Well, the wrong answer is if something hurts. That's what you don't want to do. Have anything hurt? It's not your goal today. You know the saying, no pain, no gain? Look at it differently. If you know pain in your mind, if you know pain and you do pain, you're not going to have any gain. No gain at all. Pain will set you back. All right? Surfed it out a couple of times, however feels good for you. Let's come to both knees. Take a baby camel, hands to your low back. Squeeze your elbows back. Look up to where the ceiling and the wall meet. Maybe look overhead, chest lifts. Now shoulders over the hips, grab your weights. Come on up to a standing position. All right, take your weights into your hands. Lift the weights to your shoulder. Weights are at your shoulder. Let's lift them up overhead. Hug your elbows in, lift and lower. Lift and lower. Can we have a high camera? Lift and lower. There you go. Nice work. Lift and lower. You can do one arm at a time. Totally your call. There we go. Breathe. You know what else you could do? You could take that ball. Put the ball between your thighs. Feel how that feels. Feel more stable, don't you? And it alleviates some tension on the low back because you're activating your legs. You're staying good and strong here. All right, how are you doing? Breathe. Lift and lower. Nice. Let's tee out our arms. With the arms teed out, bend the elbows, bringing the weights back to your shoulders, and then tee them out again. Now, same thing. You can alternate. One arm extends, the other bends. You can look in one direction, then the other. And if you're doing both arms at the same time, look in one direction, come back to center, look in the other direction. Strong. Strong in the arms, strong in the chest. Good posture. All things we all want. And don't think of strength as He-Man strength. Think of strength as functional strength. You need to stay strong. You need to be able to do and live your life off of your mat comfortably. All right? How you doing here? Let's take our arms, tee them out good and wide. Bring them to the front of the room. Arms to about shoulder height. Now bend the weights towards your chest. Elbows stay lifted. Extend and bring them back. Extend and bring them back. Extend and bring them back. Keep your elbows hugged in, good and strong. Biceps are loving you. Again, alternate if you wish. You could be doing this with water bottles. Let's lift our arms up to the sky. Capture both weights or get rid of one weight. Hug your biceps toward your ears. Put a bend in your arm and bring those weights back to your neck. Lift and lower as you work your triceps. Breathe. Maybe you need to sigh it out occasionally. I don't know what size weights you're using or what size water bottles you're using, but make it doable. You don't have to do a lot of weights. You know, they say more frequent repetitions with lighter weights help you lose weight, and fewer repetitions with heavier weights help you build muscle. So I don't know where you are today or what you want to do, or maybe it's just the discipline of finding the strength and the time on your mat. All right, let's bring our arms, float them down by your sides, drinking bird. Bend your knees, bend your elbows, hug the weights towards your armpits, and come on up to the balls of your feet. Maybe that feels good, maybe the balance doesn't feel so good. Stay a bit flat on the feet if you wish. You know, another option, you want to come up onto the toes, you could have your hands on a chair beside you or in front of you and work one arm at a time. I'm going to sink lower into my knees, bringing my shoulders over my hips a little bit more so my gaze stays forward. Then I'm going to drive the weights to the back of the room, then back to my armpits. Oh boy, that shift of those weights from your armpits to the back of the room really makes you engage in your core so you can keep your balance up on your toes. So much going on. Breathe. Extend the arms back, pulse the weights to the back wall. Pulse them up, chest stays open. You feel like you're in fish pose in your chest here, don't you? We did fish pose yesterday. Every day, different poses, different combinations to make you stronger, more flexible, more mobile. You got it. Pulse the arms in towards your spine. Sink a little lower in your knees. If you fall out, get right back in, no big deal. Squeeze that ball for stability. Your gaze is forward. You're pulsing the weights in, sink lower. And finish. Arms down by your sides. Come on up to a standing position. When you're ready, lift those weights high up overhead. Tee out the arms and then bring them up overhead. Tee out the arms, bring them up. Breathe. Maybe take the weights a little lower, maybe down towards your hips, and lift them on up. Strength, strength. Think of like doing a snow angel, right? Strong arms, strong shoulders, strong lats. You got this. Breathe. Down on the exhale. Up on the inhale. Down on the exhale. We're almost done. Up on the inhale. Bring the weights down by your sides. Squeeze the ball. Hinge forward. Let the weights just hang loose toward the earth. Take a little break here. Gaze back toward your knees. Breathe in. Maybe the weights come all the way down to the ground. Use that little bit of weight to just pull your arms down a little bit more. Place the blocks or the weights aside. Remove the ball. Roll your spine up one vertebra at a time. Let's do some standing stuff. All right, so in your standing pose today, let's do tree to begin with. Use a chair nearby if you want. Root into one leg, open the other knee to the side. Balance on the ball of the foot if you like. Hands to prayer center. Another option for the leg is to glue that heel into the inner ankle. Bring it on up higher or higher still. Place it however you want. Hold on to a chair. Look to where the ceiling and the wall meet. Push the foot into the leg and the leg into the foot. Hips equal distant to the front of the room. Grow a branch or two if you like. Root into your foot and stay strong. There you go. Wiggle your branches. Challenge your balance more. Try to close your eyes for just a second. And then hands back to prayer center. Guide the foot to the front of the room. Right foot meets left on the mat. Other side, root into your opposite leg. Open up the other foot. Slip the foot up to wherever feels right. Today, push the foot into the leg into the foot. Hold on to your chair if you want. Lengthen up, and grow up. Grow the hands, grow the branches. Breathe. If you want to wiggle the fingers, go for it. If you want to close the eyes for a moment or two, go for that too. Hands back to prayer center. Guide the knee to the front of the room. Plant the foot next to the other foot. You got it. Warrior three, big pose. Your chair can be in front of you. You could take a big step forward with your right foot. We'll take it in layers. You got these blocks here. Maybe keep the blocks at the top of your mat. Big step forward with your right foot. Maybe hands on your hips. Maybe lift the left foot a little or a lot. Maybe today you strive to touch these blocks. Maybe your hands come down and you hold on here. Right foot is planted, left leg lifts. Totally fine. Maybe your hands are on the back of a chair. Maybe no chair at all. You reach your arms forward, bring your body into the shape of a capital letter T. Let's come out of it. Hands back to your hips. Left foot meets right. Come up to standing. Step it back with the right leg, and we'll do it on the other side. Hinge forward a little bit. Maybe you stay right here. Give a little bit of bend to that foundational knee. Maybe lift the back leg up. Maybe touch your blocks. Maybe reach your arms forward. Stretch. Find length in your capital letter T. Hands to prayer center or hips. Foot meets foot. You got it. Come to standing. Take a deep breath in. Lift your arms up to the sky. And a deep breath out. Root into the earth. One-legged mountain pose. Lengthen up, bend your right knee, and lift your right knee up. Bring your thigh to about hip height. Draw your toes towards your shin. Lengthen up, find your balance. Root into your left foot, hold on. You've got it, stay strong. We've done a challenge in this pose before where we hold it for 1 minute, but not today. Hands to prayer center with purpose and intention. Touch the right foot down. Other side, arms sweep up, extended mountain. Weight into the right foot, weight out of the left. Lift the thigh, knee to hip height, toes to your shin. Root strongly into your foundational foot. If you fall out, no big deal, get back in. Imagine someone wonderful pulling your fingers up to the sky. Hold it, hold it. You got it. Hands to prayer center with intention and purpose and control. Left foot comes down to meet the right. You did it. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Find your ball. Ball squeeze between the thighs. Chair nearby, totally fine. All right. Squeeze the ball in. Pulse the little squeezes in. Come on to the balls of your feet. Keep pulsing the ball in, in. Hold on to that chair if you like. Bring your shoulders more over your hips. Imagine your back is on the back wall. Slide it down a little bit more. Hands on the chair, or you can just have the arms forward, kind of a counterbalance. You might like them on the hips. I prefer them to be a counterbalance. Sink a little lower. Shoulders are over your hips. Hold it here. Keep squeezing. Now squeeze it good and tight, and then pulse it down. Little teeny pulses, down, down, down. You got it. Stay strong. Hold on. Don't quit. Strong thighs. Woo. Big muscles. You got it. Keep pulsing. Keep pulsing. All right. Sink a little lower and pulse. Keep your balance. And when you're ready, we'll finish. Plant the soles of your feet. Remove the ball. Hinge forward. Fold in half. Reach your hands towards your calves. Squeeze your elbows in and fold in half. Breathe in. Breathe out. Bend your knees. Come down to your mat. All right, put your eye shade and your towel up near the top of your mat. You got it. All right, let's come into a clamshell pose. Have a weight or not. It's up to you. Come down. I'm going to come down to my right side. Elbow is under the shoulder. Forearm parallel to the top of the mat. Hands spread wide for stability. Little bend in the knees. Weights or no weights, place them on top of your left thigh. Then start to lift your knee, the left knee up to the sky. Keep your ankles glued together so your legs look like a clamshell. Lift, lift, lift. Maybe lift your knees or your ankles. Lift, lift, lift. You got it. All right, let's keep the leg lifted and pulse it up. Up, up. Bring the knee back to meet the knee. Remove the weights. Press into your forearm. And let's put our hand on our hip and send your hips up. Send your legs good and long as you come into a forearm side plank. Lift your left arm up. Reach it to the front of the room. Hold here. Lift high and strong out of the hips. You got it. Hand back to the hips. Hip comes down. Switch sides. Bring your weights. Bend your knees. Forearm, same position as on the other side. Weights to your outer thigh. Lift and lower in your clamshell here. Breathe. Lift the ankles up. Open and close the clamshell. Maybe keep the clamshell open and pulse. Pulse. Pulse it open and up here. As you're ready, glutes on fire yet? Oh yeah. Bring the knees down, remove the weights, send your legs long, press on up into your forearm side plank, lift the arm up, lift the arm forward, reach and stretch, you got it. Arm comes down, hip comes down, legs go long, you're seated. Arms lift up, reach forward, reach down and capture your toes. Pull your toes back towards your shins. Push your feet into your hands. Breathe in, breathe out. Spread your legs wide as you come on up, shoulders over your hips. Wide-legged forward fold. Use the block or the ball or nothing at all. And reach forward. Push the ball forward. Push the block forward. Gaze down to the floor. Gaze back to your belly button. Breathe in. Breathe out. Come on up to seated. All right, just try this. Can you lift one leg, then lift the other? Lift one leg, then lift the other. All right, let's come back. Legs meet at the midline of the body. Just take a little forward fold. Come on up, shoulders over your hips. Bring the ball to your ankles and roll onto your belly. Crocodile pose. The ball is between your ankles. Bend your elbows so they're to the sides of your mat. Rest your head on your stacked hands. Ball between the ankles. You don't have to do the ball, but lift the ball and lower it. Lift and lower. Maybe you just bend the knees and lift and lower the ball. Maybe you keep the legs straight. Lift and lower. Lift a little higher and lower. Lift and lower. Bring the legs down. Squeeze the ball. Press the tops of the feet into the mat.
Now keep your hands glued to your forehead. Lift in the upper body. Lift and lower. Lift and lower. Lift and lower. Lift and lower. Lift the legs up and pulse the legs up. Pulse, pulse, pulse. Maybe come up a little higher in the thighs. Lift and pulse. And then finish. Legs come down, hands under your collarbones. Press into your hands, seal pose. Soften in the glutes, chest is forward. Come on up to standing on your knees. Oops. As you stand on your knees, shoulders are over your hips. Let's place our hands at our low back. Take your little baby camel pose. Look up to the sky. Shoulders over your hips. Tee out your arms. Twist to the right. Push that right arm back, back, back. Look over your right shoulder. Come back to the midline. Reach and twist to the other side. Back to center. One more time. Twist to one side. Look back. Back to center. Twist to the other side. Back to center. Have a seat on your heels. Stretch out your quads. Think ankle pose. Remember that? Put your hands behind your back out on the mat. Stretch out the ankles. It's all fun. All right, you put your eye shade and towel at the top of your mat, right? Let's take this block. Let's place it, just place it in your hand. Come on down, all the way down to reclined. We're gonna do bridge pose on this block. Once you're reclined, bend your knees, press the soles of your feet into the mat. Lift on up in the hips and place the block under your bottom. Low on your bottom, so it feels comfortable. Adjust it so it feels comfortable. Send your legs on up to the sky. Now you don't have to do this. You could stay in your supported bridge, keeping the feet down. Lift your legs up, crisscross the legs. Toes point, crisscross the legs, let them float on down to about a 45-degree angle. Start to scissor kick them, I guess from the side like a scissor kick, on up, up, up to the sky. Do it again to about 45 degrees. Still your feet, point your toes, lift your feet up to the air. Draw little circles in one direction, keeping the ankles glued together. Draw little circles that become bigger circles in the opposite direction. Lift the toes up toward the sky, bend the toes towards the shins, point and flex the feet. With the toes pointed, lower the legs all the way down. Right here, this is your pontoon pose, but lift them up as soon as those heels touch. Lift them up and lower them. You can stay in your pontoon with the heels on the ground. Lift and lower. Now let's separate those ankles. One leg goes up, one lowers. The other leg goes up and the other one lowers. I'm glad we stretched out our hip flexors in that lunge and surfing pose. All right, let's finish. Both legs up to the sky. Both legs float on down to your mat. This is your pontoon pose. Let the heels rest on the earth. Big stretch in both hip flexors at the same time. That's nice. Take a big breath in and a big breath out. Bend your knees. Soles of the feet on the mat, push into the earth, remove the block. Roll your spine down, one vertebra at a time. Left leg goes along on your mat, right knee bends. Hug the right knee in, use a towel if you wish to hug it in with a towel. Left leg is along, left toes toward the shins, circle the right ankle to the right and then to the left. Hug the knee in, supine twist. Left knee helps the right, left hand helps the right knee across the midline of the body. Tee out your right arm, look right. Bring your hip back down, circle the ankle again and again. Right leg goes along on your mat with control because you have a strong core. Draw the toes toward the shin, drag the left heel up. Hug the left knee in, circle the ankle. Right hand captures the left leg, cross over the midline of your body. Tee out your left arm, look left. Shoulder stays down. Left hip comes back to the earth, hug the knee in one more time, left leg goes long on the mat. As soon as it touches down, drag both heels up, elbow to knee, knee toward armpit, and other knee toward other armpit. There's your happy baby pose. Rock from side to side.
Come back to the midline, capture inside your calves and rock from side to side, or capture your heels, draw your toes toward your shin. Send one leg up to the sky, then the other leg, and breathe. One is straight, one is bent, it's all good. Send both legs high to the sky, toes point high to the sky, let both legs float on down to the earth for final Shavasana. Heels spread, pinky toes fall to the earth. Cover your eyes with your towel or your eye shade. Arms down by your sides. Take a deep breath in. And a deep sighing breath out. Let it go. You moved a lot. Soften the area between your eyebrows. Maybe tighten and clench through the fingers and toes. Tight squeeze. And then refresh. Recharge, rejuvenate by opening up. Be aware of your breath. Deep breaths in and deep breaths out. If your remote is handy, you can hit pause and stay in this final Shavasana pose for longer. Then when you're ready, you just play again and join us right back here. Take a deep breath in and a big sighing breath out. Let it go. Wiggle your fingers and your toes. Bring that motion up into the wrists and the ankles. Point the toes, reach the arms high. Take a big good morning stretch. Exhale, bend the knees and the elbows and roll into a fetal position on one side or the other. Enjoy the getting there. Low arms bicep is a pillow for your head. Top shoulder relaxes. Breathe in. Breathe out. When you're ready, maybe you keep your eyes closed or just softly flutter them open and come on up to a seated position. And I always say it, but either use your hands or don't. Totally fine either way, but just know what you're doing. Use your hands, your arms with intent. Same thing as when you come out of a chair. Bring your hands to prayer center, lengthen up through the crown of your head. Breathe in, breathe out. Just be aware of how you move. Open your eyes. You did it. Okay, so homework. When you brush your teeth, balance on one foot. When you get up and out of a chair, don't use the arms of the chair. Use your strong legs. You've been working hard on your core. You've been working hard on balance. You can do it. Do it so you don't lose it. All right, so that's it. Stress number. What was it when we started? And more importantly, what is it now? We did take a stress number, didn't we? All right. So how do you feel? Just how do you feel in your body? You feel like you can conquer the day now, don't you? You had a fresh start. Continue those fresh starts all throughout the day, no matter where you are or what you're doing. All right, from us to you. Love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. That is my wish for you today and always. See you guys on your mats tomorrow. Love you. Bye-bye. Good girl. Good girl. See ya. You're still here, and I'm really glad for that. Keep this in mind. The path is made through repetition. Keep showing up, and good things will happen. You know that. I'm glad that you're still sticking around. Tell your friends what the yoga's doing for you. Our yoga is free for anybody and everybody on Facebook and YouTube, and they can join in anytime from the privacy of their own home. Tell them about our practice, please. If you'd like to support our broadcast, you can visit our website. It's www.316yoga.com. Stay on your path, enjoy your yoga, and have a great rest of your day. See you on your mats tomorrow.